All right, guys. Welcome to our first video commentary battle report. This is going to be from Diecon. This is the 35-point standard Steamroller. We've got round one, Tom Guan versus Jason Watt. Tom Guan is playing Crix, as you can see, and Jason Watt is playing his Convergence. Commentating this battle report with me, this is Chad from Muse on Minis, is
and this
my
is
co-commentator.
Also from Muse on Minis.
And you are... sorry, we got kind of caught up there.
Wait, what?
This is Crump from Muse on Minis. Sorry, guys. We're going to get better at this. You can see Tom is just sort of unpacking his army at the top of turn one right now. He won the die roll to go first, I believe.
Yep.
And he's playing... his caster is going to be Goreshade 3. And his list is a full unit of Black Bane's Ghost Raiders, a full unit of Bane Thralls with the standard. He has Iacos running a Leviathan at the bottom of the screen there below that forest. And then he's also got a Scarlock and a Death Ripper. Mm-hmm. Or is it a Defiler, actually?
It's a Defiler. It's the spray one.
Right.
So.
And then his last point, he's just got a random Machine Wraith.
Yeah. Those Machine Wraiths aren't actually too random. Tom, before this current version of the list, used to play them in his Goreshade 3 list as feat targets. Mm-hmm. So they would just run through opponents' armies and he'd feed on them in the sweetest locations. He then figured out he should replace them with Black Bane's Ghost Raiders because those also do things.
It's decent because you can kind of split them up on different sides of the table now.
Yeah. So he has incorporeal models on the top and the bottom. Mm-hmm.
So the important things that Tom did on his turn was, besides just, it looks like he's sort of going for a split zone thing here with his incorporeal guys going towards the right zone and the bulk of the rest of his army going towards the left zone. He also cast, I believe, Occultation on the Black Bane's Ghost Raiders, and he also cast Scything Touch on the Bane Thralls. Yep.
So across from him, Watt is playing Father Lucant, which is about where his hand is right now. His list is a Prime Axiom, a Corollary, and that's it for the battle group. And then he has a full unit of Obstructors at the bottom. Nestled close to them is a Enigma Foundry kind of in the middle of them. And then up top, you'll see 2 units of Angels. And then the thing he just ran over by the objective is a Optifex Arcnode guy, the Algorithmic Dispersion Optifex. And that is his whole list other than a unit of repair guys in the back. So,
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I chose to not play in this 35-point tournament just because 35 points, I feel like you don't get the full brunt of the game.
Sure.
But and seeing this list actually kind of surprised me because it's kind of, I mean, it's a very low model real estate when you actually just look at it. You know, the Prime Axiom takes up a huge number of points, and then he's only got that one unit. But with the Enigma Foundries, Watt right now is casting Purification. So that gets rid of, it only caught the Black Bane's Ghost Raiders. So, yeah, it got rid of Occultation there. And then I believe he's going to give magic weapons to the Angels, or do they already have magic weapons?
I think their binomial beams might. If not, the Optifex directive can give them magical weapons. And Convergence is also fresh.
I think they already have magical weapons.
They must, because the guys are way back there.
So, professional.
I mean, mistakes get made.
So he's going to go up and try and take some pot shots and kill some Black Banes. It looks
like... Yep, both of their weapons are magical. Both their melee and ranged. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. I mean, that makes sense for why Tom would want to put the Occultation on them in the first place.
And also why Watt AD'd them across from Black Bane's Ghost Raiders.
Right. So, it looks like Watt is going for a long play of getting the far zone and then jamming up his recursion elements into his close zone so that he can sort of try and deny it. Which, unless I think Tom identifies this early on, like it's probably going to go very well for him. It looks like between the Optifex directive having the ability to give the Prime Axiom magical weapons and the Clockwork Angels, which are going to be able to do their constant in and out sort of hit and run stuff.
With reform
and Lucant is also he has it's not the best spell, but he still he has a spell that he can also cast to get some work in there too.
What is it, like Disruptor Bolt? No, it's a
Disillusion Bolt.
Yeah, it's a new one that he has. It stops like arcing or something.
I mean, the important thing is that it's a magical spell that he can shoot at those incorporeal guys over there.
Right.
So it looks like he killed 2 Blackbanes. It's not going to be a problem for Tom yet because he's going to be able to just Mockery of Life them back into play. Yeah, pretty standard stuff otherwise.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Tom, like the next turn, will start to shift his Banes hopefully closer to the Prime Axiom.
That's what I would try to do. I'd also try and get the Leviathan over there because you want the Leviathan, I think, to really threaten the caster kill.
With him being a medium base?
Yeah, he's a large base, actually.
Oh, jeez. So it's a POW 15?
And it could potentially be up to 17 if you can run a Bane in there or have a Bane Mockeried back into melee range.
Sure, and then feed it on and just dead. Huh.
So that's, I think, what I would try and do. And then also, I don't think that Leviathan's just really going to do much over there on that flank anyway.
I mean, it can murder an Enigma Foundry if he can keep it. Like, because he can only shield guard one a turn.
But that forest is extremely disruptive in the middle of that zone right there.
Sure.
Like, the terrain on this table is actually
problematic.
Pretty unfavorable to Tom. Which, that's the downside to going first. Sometimes the terrain heavily outweighs the benefit of the first turn deployment.
So Tom has pretty much just locked that scenario zone up for the remainder of this game.
No.
I mean, locked up as in there's nothing over there on that side of the table that can...
No, he could have the corollary run, and then the algorithmic dispersion optifex could...
to Arca.
Yeah, he could Arca Disillusion Bolt or something over there.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's
still pretty
I don't see that
secure.
happening, but... What?
Yeah, I mean, it's still probably fine.
Yeah,
because I doubt that will happen, but yeah.
I mean, once there's a couple of Banes in, the behind the forest, like in the zone, it's going to be fine anyway. So, yeah, I would really like to see him start moving the Banes
just closer towards the other zone.
Yeah, closer to the Axiom as well.
Yeah. They're not... I mean, Banes v. Obstructors is
It's kind of a funny standoff they've got going on because I don't think Lucant is too afraid of Goreshade's pop and drop
because he has so much armor.
Because he's and HP.
He's got 21. He has one. Yeah, he has 21.
So Goreshade's Siphon Bolt is not going to be super deadly to him.
Sure,
but Goreshade also has to be scared of getting drug in by the Prime Axiom. I mean, if he's in the forest,
yeah, it looks like he's
been. I mean, his defense is going to be.
No, I mean, like it looks like he's more than 3 inches in the forest or completely beyond it.
No, he absolutely is now. But I'm saying he can't get much closer. He has to stay. He has to stay basically on that side of the forest. Otherwise, he is threatened by getting drug in.
Yeah, he could risk. I mean, he could present Watt with that option of if like a Goreshade with occultation on it was in a forest, and then Watt can purify it off and try to drag him in with Prime Axiom, but he needs 13s.
11s if he gets a flare.
Oh, sure.
Which he doesn't have any flares in his base list, but the Prime Axiom is able to make a Servitor every turn. And I believe he made one of the flare bots on the turn 1.
He did.
That's not one of the things we're actually sure of.
No,
but that's
he did. I saw it on turn 1.
Yeah,
there's
one. He put one down. We don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah,
I think it was a flare bot, which he's probably going to use to help the Angels clear off
a lot of Black Banes.
And then he looks like he did go with the plan of Mockering. He cast Mockery of Life twice to just get those Black Banes back up to 10. So, Trying to
Interested
whittle him
in
down.
Tom's like shift of Goreshade. Not sure what he's like planning on doing.
I think he's trying to get maybe line of sight to something over there so he can charge through the forest with Ghostly, but still have the objective blocking the drag. I'm not sure either.
Oh,
Something else to note about Tom is whenever you watch him play, he plays he makes very, very quick decisions, and he plays very, very quickly, which is both good and bad. I think it'll just be 100% good once he gets more play time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't think he makes 100% optimal decisions in favor of just making a quick decision, which I'm not saying that that's a bad way of playing the game. Because
especially in time-constrained games like this.
It's a 7-minute game, so
right.
Sometimes speed is the utmost importance, and it doesn't really. You just need to make a decision. It doesn't really matter how important it is. So
I think he plays quite a different game in Deathclock, though. Because if you think back to like games we've seen him at, like Gen Con, games that we were posted online where he was playing Morton Ebra, and he would tank for like 15 minutes, and then come out and like get some bananas assassination that didn't look like it was there at all.
Looks like he's getting a free strike right now with the Blackbane. An angel walked around her. I walked around him. I think Jason is going to obviously attempt to kill all of the models in the zone. There are 5. There were
5. There are 4 left.
6.
Oh.
There are 5 left.
Oh, that's a Blackbane.
He has another unit of angels, and then the Prime Axiom, and then Lucant to try and finish off the rest of them.
So Tom must have used the Scarlock to reapply occultation.
Yeah.
So
yep.
That's why the angels are not all just aiming and blowing back Blackbanes off the table.
Yep.
So,
and I think Jason didn't cast Purification again because he wants to activate Lucant. He wants to see if he can clear the zone out, and then he wants to activate Lucant and try and get him in there to dominate it. So he's going to wait till last to activate Lucant this turn, most likely.
Sure. Probably going to be a feed turn from Watt. I'm going to guess.
That's one of the things I had written down. I don't know. This would be my guess as well.
Just based on... I mean, I don't think that Prime Axiom is really in any threat of dying if he doesn't feat, because I'm imagining it's probably going to go into that zone after getting magical weapons from the Optifex Directive, kill the remaining Banes.
Black Banes, you mean?
Yeah, the Black Banes, yeah. Crex units. Wait.
Right.
And then it's only going to get charged by probably like...
I think it's aiming, actually. I think the
2?
Prime Axiom is what's going right now.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah, so it looks like he's got one model left in the zone. And out of shots to shoot it with. This is one of the moments to probably cut out.
I'm wondering why Watt didn't put him in the zone. I'm just like...
Didn't want to expose him to Goreshade and the Banes, I'm guessing.
Still, though, I mean, a feated Prime Axiom.
Also, Black Banes are Def 14. So, Prime Axiom with Rat 3. No, they're Def 14. So, Prime Axiom with aiming, still needs to roll pretty high.
Yeah.
Even if they're flared, he still needs to roll 7s.
Yeah, they're 13s.
They're 13s. Wow.
They have pirate stats. 13.
Lucant did
13,
run.
12.
So that means there's no feat.
Huh. Alright, so that would be why he did not put the Prime Axiom forward then, because it might actually die. It's very unlikely to die, I think, though, if he puts it in the zone and doesn't feat.
Like, yeah, sort of. Then he's going to finish the Black Banes off with the looks like he made a countercharge bot, or the what do you call those? The exploding bots?
Yeah, a reflex servitor.
Yeah, those ones. This is pretty smart, actually. They have POW 7 blast damage, is that right?
I think it's... Yeah, I think the main thing is POW 13. And then down to POW 7.
I think it's 14 to 7. But either way, it's...
6s to kill.
Yeah, regardless of what the hit roll is.
Are those Black Banes corporeal? I know he took a free strike with one of them. So I'm guessing that's the guy.
Oh, that was one of the ones that attacked.
Yeah.
The one he charged, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was the guy that free struck that one angel. Right?
I don't know. This is probably the kind of stuff that we should make note of when we're doing future commentaries.
Well, no, so I mean, if that's the one that got free struck, it's actually a pretty smart play by Watt. Because then it can use the servitor that the Prime Axiom pops out to actually kill Blaine instead of do nothing.
I don't think that was his original plan, but...
Worked!
Yeah.
Brilliant tactical maneuver.
Brilliant tactical maneuver.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the one that free struck. That one was like halfway up the zone. So, I'm pretty sure that was just one of the ones that made an attack.
Sure.
Turn. Either that, or he gave the reflex servitor magical weapons somehow. Which I don't think that he could do and give the Prime Axiom magical weapons.
Unless he popped it out turn 1, but I'm pretty sure that was a flare 1 up top. So, kind of don't love the idea of Banes versus Obstructors when an Enigma Foundry is in the...
Yeah, that's why
mix.
I'm thinking...
I really wish
Tom probably should have really redirected his entire force over to that zone.
Mm-hmm. And just left the, like, Mechana Thrall to just be, or Machine Wraith to just be like...
The Leviathan, I think, could have gotten in there, too. Like, just slowly. As long as the Leviathan, I think, is, like, on the upper right tip there.
Mm-hmm. Kind of, like, up by the green
can
forest.
Still threaten a good amount of the table with its gun.
Yeah.
And then it's probably safe from most of the... like, any of the threat from the Obstructors. You just have to worry about it getting dragged. So anyway, Watt dominated his zone and goes up to two control points. And it's if all Tom has left is 4 Black Banes, it's going to be difficult for him to put a significant amount of presence in that far zone. So that seems like Jason's going to be that seems like that's almost surely going to be Jason's path to victory in this game.
Yeah.
Even if I think Goreshade can go basically empty, casting Mockery of Life 3 times, but I don't think 7 Black Banes is going to be too difficult.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably not. I think at this point I'd rather just see Tom start like trying to use like siphon bolts almost instead of bringing back stuff with Mockery.
I mean, it depends. I might activate the Black Banes first and just see how many of the
Clockwork Angels
they can kill. If they can kill most or all of them, then it's starting to look pretty good. But
well, there's the issue now of like, sure he can like kill those guys, but Lucant can actually just kill Black Banes.
Right.
So,
well, which is why you have to have Goreshade over there.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
it's pretty. I don't know. It's a pretty rough spot for Tom right now, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Black Banes are just, or not Black Banes,
Yep.
regular Banes. Too many Banes.
He loaded up 3 focus on his Leviathan. I assume it's just because there's not much else for that.
Yeah, Aiku says
it's pretty much going to get 3 focus every turn, regardless of what his plans are for it.
right. Yay, new juniors. They're so sweet. You get to bring all these sweet jacks that you couldn't before with your casters. Just saying.
Okay.
It's better than Una, Chad. It's better than Una.
She's got a sweet bird.
She's got 3 sweet birds. It's better than Icos. It's not better than Icos. What time's the Leviathan shooting at? Just more obstructors?
Yeah, it's just shooting at obstructors.
Mm-hmm. Where'd the machine wraith run off to?
It ran to the far side of that forest in the zone to engage some of the obstructors to stop them from charging.
The Lost Ark Node.
Arc Node's running up.
The Lost Ark Node. It has returned.
I assume to threaten Siphon Bolts, but that seems like more of a feint to me. Since I don't think Jason's going to be afraid of Siphon Bolts.
Mm-hmm.
And then especially if he can kill all of the Black Banes, then he's really got nothing left to feat Lucant stationary with.
So what do you think? I mean, it does look very bad for Tom at this point. Watt has an amazing or an outstanding scenario foothold right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Tom's best outs are going here forth?
I think he needs to position for the assassination.
Sure. Which may, in turn, give Watt probably a fairly good assassination on him.
I think he can make it pretty good if he wants to. If Tom can stationary Lucant with the feet and get a Bane to within melee range,
sure,
then he can basically Siphon Bolt all of his focus away. And I would just Siphon Bolt it all away and not worry about boosting damage.
And then just shoot him to death with the Leviathan.
And then have the Leviathan, just shoot him 2 or 3 times at...
dice damage.
Right.
Because he's armor 17. So 3 Knot Snakes dice damage attacks.
Plus all of the damage from... he's gonna do planking damage with the Siphon Bolts.
Mm-hmm. What's nice is...
What is crappy about that assassination is that the Prime Axiom is always going to be able to shield guard one of those.
Sure. Because it can't be made stationary.
Because it can't be made stationary.
Womp womp.
And yeah. So I think that's probably his best bet, is to just hope for...
Yeah.
It's really not a very good assassination, but I don't like his odds of scenario right now.
Or attrition, really. Like, it's not awesome. I may have actually just done... And it's always weird looking in on a game, but... Because when you're playing games like this, you don't actually know if you're... Like, you don't feel as behind as you actually are.
Well...
Oftentimes.
That's one thing that we say a lot, is it's very, very easy to armchair command or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very easy to critique and say someone should have done this or should have done that when you're not actually playing the game. It's much more difficult in the heat of the moment to make optimal decisions and properly identify the course of the battle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
I think Tom does, though, because as you can see, he moved his Banes. He's kind of doing a little bit of what we said. Like, he's moved his Banes and much more over towards the far zone over there, and he's definitely got Goreshade sort of over there threatening it, and his Leviathan is slowly making its way over there. I think he's just getting a little bit too caught up in trying to... Like, I would have loved it if the Leviathan ran last turn instead of shooting a couple of...
like 2 or 3 obstructors to death, yeah.
Yeah, because killing the obstructors is almost a trap at this point, since the Enigma Foundry is just going to be able to bring them back in a more advantageous spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he basically killed 2 irrelevant obstructors.
And they're just going to come back.
And now they're going to come back, and they're going to charge the Banes that tried to make their way over to that zone.
Right.
And so it's almost even better...
To just leave them alive.
Yeah, to leave them alive in an irrelevant spot.
Enigma Foundries, folks.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the powers of the Enigma Foundries.
Oh, man.
You can always bring the models, because you choose where the models come back. And
yeah.
so you can bring them back in a potentially even more, relevant spot.
Yeah, you think to yourself when you read the card, you're like, my God, that's so many restrictions, like within this, and within 3 inches of this, and within an inch of this. But it's just like a 7-inch circle of like, I want to drop stuff wherever.
Right.
So, yeah, but what I was thinking was that, like, I've done this in games where I, like, messed up on attrition or, scenario or something, and it's hard to come to the realization that you need to, like, not essentially give your caster away, but just be like, okay, I have to give them this assassination, and if they go for it, like, I actually have a chance to get back in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas otherwise I just straight lose. And it's very hard to do that because, a giant part of this game is protecting your caster and keeping them alive. Right. So it's just completely counterintuitive to what you normally do, where you're just like, oh, I gotta hide this guy behind a wall. Sometimes you're just like, I'm gonna lose this game unless my opponent just, like, falls for this and goes for it and fails. So,
well, it's definitely, there are mind games associated with this game, and that's definitely one of the mind games you can play at, is trying to get them into a coin flip situation when you think that a coin flip is better than your long odds.
Right. Which I think I might have actually, if I were Tom the last turn, put Goreshade in a iffy spot. Not like a very bad assassination, but, like Toe in the Forest on...
I don't think Jason would have fallen for that personally, but yeah, it's definitely...
even if he doesn't fall for it, then Goreshade's actually in a very threatening position.
Right.
So
that's the ultimate goal, is you want to be in a spot where you are very relevant, but also very safe.
Right.
And Tom is opting for much more safe, which I cannot fault him for.
Yeah, no, it's... Like I said, it's very intuitive for us to keep our casters, in this case, behind a forest.
Jason actually, I think, has a path to victory this turn if he can kill everything in the zone, and then he can kill the objective. He will go up to 5 points and win. But I'm not sure if that's going to be possible.
Killing the objective might actually be difficult.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be possible for him to do everything, especially since those Banes are tough.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, just like the things that can actually physically get to the objective are maybe like one obstructor and some prime axiom shots. And the prime axiom shots aren't like super high pow, so it won't do enough damage to the objective unless he's spending focus to boost.
Yeah.
Because things are pow 12, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And the super structure. And then the sweet toe cables only do a point of damage. Womp womp.
So yeah, it looks unlikely, but if he had a way of making it happen, he could win this turn.
Sure.
So it looks like the Prime Axiom is just going to dedicate all of its firepower into clearing the zone.
Sorry, I was wrong. The Acela Spiker is POW 11, not 12.
Oh, okay. So that's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, Prime Axiom's still pretty sweet.
True.
It only gets to make, 8 shots a turn. Yeah, also doing coverage on convergence is difficult because you and I know, like, the rules for most factions in the game, but we haven't played against convergence enough to, like, fluidly know, like, stats and, like, I based the POW of its guns off the base of other Colossals.
Right.
Like, oh, it's probably 12s. Like, Stormwalls are 12s.
So I think Watt tried to shoot at that far Black Bane that was in the zone and missed due to stealth because they still do have occultation on them from the prior turn.
Yeah, he hasn't purified yet.
And so he made the rest of his attack rolls on their Banes, and either missing or tough, the Banes remain. So it looks like it's going to be the job of the obstructors to try and finish them off now.
Yep.
And so exactly like I said, the obstructors are coming back into a more relevant.
Yeah, instead of being spot. Like bottom left corner over by that objective, they're now in the zone that Jason wants to score 2 points in.
Yep.
So it looks like all that Tom has left are in that zone. At least are 2 Black Banes.
There's still a machine race that's sort of behind the tree.
Yep. and 2 regular Banes. So, not the bottom zone.
Oh, not the bottom.
The top.
The top zone, yeah.
The top
2 black Banes, or 1 black Bane and 2 Bane Thralls.
No, there's 2. There's one up by the bush that's like towing the zone, and then there's one surrounded by angels in the middle.
Yeah, you're right.
So, looks like Tom might actually be able to hold the zone this turn.
Yep. He needs those tough checks, and nope.
Not a 1.
So he's got Lucant now to try and kill 2
Black Banes. Which I would say might put Lucant in a iffy situation, except he has his feet. So
right. And this is almost surely going to be feet turn.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Lucant's feet gets better the later the game goes.
Yeah. Jason's dice turning pretty bad there at the end, but they were attacking the sort of irrelevant Banes on the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
On the lower half of the table, I should say. And so I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. And those Banes are going to be able to do damage back to the unit, but with that Enigma Foundry back there, it's just going to be almost impossible for him to really clear him out. He's going to have to pretty much dedicate like all of the Banes and the Leviathan shots to it.
Yeah, it looks like, although at this point in the game, it's probably, Tom's probably too far behind on scenario, but he has a pretty easy point to score in the bottom. He has to go like one of Watt's models. And then the machine wraith just scores him a point.
Yeah.
But
that'd be good if he did it.
Yeah. I don't know if he can catch up, though.
It's hard to see because it's being blocked by a Prime Axiom. He's moving Lucant right now. And he's checking to make sure that he is more than 13 inches away from Goreshade and out of line of sight, which is what the laser is coming out for.
Yep.
So, because even Lucant's beefy, with his feet and everything, but even him, he'll die. He'll absolutely die to a Goreshade charge.
Yeah. Well,
dude's past 17.
Oh yeah, sighting
touch.
On attack. Yeah. I mean, Lucant can, with his feet, can be armor 28.
Sorry, I should say it's POW 15, but then the Scarlock can cast sighting touch.
Right. So. The Scarlock's still back there, currently underneath Tom Guan's hands. Oh,
we got a glimpse of that machine wraith.
Yeah, man. Little does Guan know, there's a whole army of Black Banes hiding behind that tower. Oh, wait, those are dead. Crap. Tom, you're screwed.
Oh, that would be great.
It's just like a charge.
Reserves.
Flanking. Oh, man. I actually missed flanking scenarios from last year quite a bit.
So he cleared them out, right? He got those 2 Black Banes. So we were kind of talking about something else, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so looks like that is 2 more points for Watt, putting him up to 4.
4-0. With a Prime Axiom in the zone.
And Lucant's feet turn.
Yeah.
And we cannot see it right now, but I assume Lucant is camping probably around 3. Probably 4.
It might be less because
I know he had to kill some Black Banes.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing he probably just punched one and then had to expend some for a spell. So he's probably camping 3 plus feet.
That's what I would assume.
Armor 24-ish. Again, why did they decide to implement Colossals and then start doing commentary? Those fools. Makes it so hard to see.
The world may never know. So, I think Tom is going to go for an assassination in desperation mode. Because when you're at 4-0 with the enemy caster in the zone
and a colossal
that's untouched, I mean, and you have a grand total of 5 models that you can get into that zone if you have your entire army run
and take a lot of free strikes. Probably.
That's almost he's basically got no more game plan So I think that's what he's probably going to do, and it's going to be low odds no matter what he gets. But my guess is Leviathan is going to walk over and try and take a shot, and Goreshade is obviously going to try and get in there.
Just siphon bolt him to death.
He might wait to see how the Leviathan does, or wait to... I'm not sure if he's going to go with Goreshade first, or...
Well, if he's going for the assassination, it makes sense to go with Goreshade first, so you can strip what focus remains off and stationary him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he didn't really run his Banes in a way to...
Minus armor him?
Or stationary him. So we'd have to spend most of his focus just getting a chain of Mockery of Life models over to Lucant. So we'll see what happens. It's not looking very good for Tom.
Oh, man.
I have to admire how fast he rolls his dice, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that were me, like, all the models on the table would be broken.
Yeah.
So.
That's very true.
Yep. I treat my War Machine tables like craps tables. Just,
yeah, they have to bounce off of
a model.
At least 2 models.
Like a Prime Axiom.
Before they're true random.
Before it's legit. Yeah, Fox hates playing against me.
Oh, yeah, the Machine Wraith run to try and get it within range of Lucant. It looks like it didn't get there.
Should. Go gadget bone chicken.
Get in that zone, Arc Node. What? No, you're stopping too early.
Oh no, Dom.
Get in there.
I mean, I think he's trying to leave it outside of Prime Axiom reach range so it can arc / shoot its gun.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm calling it now. He's got a corrode Lucant. Ah, dang it. Lucant was going to be at 1 and died of corrosion. It was going to be sweet. Tom ruined it.
So he is doing the Mockery of Life chain.
Yep.
So he pops his feet. Maybe. He might not pop his feet. He put down 2. I'm assuming he's going to pop his feet. Yep. So he pops his feet, gets probably Lucant. Yeah, Lucant.
Prime Axiom, which doesn't matter.
Prime Axiom doesn't matter. And so he's got the -2 armor from the Bane Thrall, Dark Shroud, and stationary from Lucant. And then he took a focus off with a Siphon Bolt.
Yep. Big money. Not big enough money.
It's like 5 or so damage.
Eh?
And then finish the ride by attack. It's all on that Leviathan now.
Or Tom's like 1 Bane in the zone, making literally 17 tough chicks.
Giving him another turn to try and, or he could just kill the objective. So it's got a 20-inch range or a 20-inch threat on the Leviathan because it speeds 5 and then it has escort for another +2.
Yep.
And so he's measuring the 13.
Oh my god, escort's so good. Icos is so good.
It's very close. So they are actually going to pick up the Prime Axiom and do the measurement more directly.
Oh my god, there was a Lucant under there the whole time.
How'd you get there?
That's what we should do every time we're doing commentary and someone has to like lift up their colossal. We should just like magic trick it like he's pulling a bunny. Like, I'll edit that in. It'll be fine.
There's so many models in the way. It's hard to get this measurement off. They want to do it accurately.
Man.
So they're going to pick up some more models and get them out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you might as well just red see the models and just be like, is it in?
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. If it's in, I have a chance. If not,
one of those things.
If not, 17 tough checks, here we come.
So they're calling in a third party, an anonymous third party, to make this judgment.
Oh, hey. It's Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah. Who could that be?
I don't know. Probably some some misogynistic dude.
So after the measurement, it looked like it was about an inch out. So Lucant about 14 inches away, maybe 13 and a half to 14 inches away from the Leviathan. So Tom's last shot at victory, and it's a kind of a long shot. Then his last shot at victory is pretty much out the window now.
Yeah.
So he's going to spend. That was his first shot with the Leviathan, and I think he's going to spend some other. He's going to spend the rest of the focus just
shooting an Enigma Foundry.
Yeah, get the Enigma Foundry down.
I'm assuming Guan will probably shield guard this. I mean, I guess he doesn't need to because it's armor 22.
He does shield guard it.
Yeah. Yeah, killing the Enigma Foundry this turn is...
Yep, there he goes. He shield guards with the Prime Axiom on the last shot.
Pretty near impossible. Because it's like dice off 7. Yeah.
So, Watt's turn, he needs to kill a Machine Wraith, a Arc Node,
and a Bane.
Bane Thrall, the Bane Thrall officer. 2 Bane Thralls, actually. Because there's the Bane Thrall that's giving Dark Shroud to Lucant as well.
Oh, yeah. It's business time, Lucant.
Very doable with the amount of models that he has over there. One of those angels is stationary, but I think there's still 3 other angels that are non-stationary. Prime Axiom is going to be able to do a lot of those models himself, and then Lucant can always shake the stationary off of himself to try and get a bunch of work done.
And there's still a bunch of obstructors.
Yeah.
So.
And at least 2 corpses on or at least 2 souls on the Enigma Foundry.
Yeah, but
this
is rough.
So. This could be GG. In fact, it very likely will be. Now, what do you think Tom could have done differently?
It really, I think the main thing comes down to like the beginning of the game, how we were talking. It sucks because Tom like deployed first, and Watt actually counter deployed very well, putting his angels across from Black Banes.
Yeah.
I might have just done turn 1 like crisscross run.
Yeah.
Because you definitely want to have the Bane Thralls across from the Prime Axiom and the Angels. And because freaking Black Bane's Ghost Raiders will kill Obstructors just fine.
I think this is an interesting game for the terrain dilemma, which is that going first is massively advantageous in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, many times. There's a couple of scenarios where it's can actually be a downfall, but there's like literally 2 scenarios in the whole packet that are like that.
And this is not one of them.
Right.
But the trade-off for going first is that obviously you don't get to pick the table sides. Your opponent gets to pick the table sides. Most of the time, the terrain is not so unfavorable that it makes that big of a difference, and so the first player still maintains a pretty big advantage. The terrain in this game massively favors Watt, I would say. Those 2 forests, Black Banes themselves are incorporeal and can ignore them.
Right.
But the bulk of his army, the Banes and the Leviathans actually have Pathfinder.
They do.
And Goreshade himself has Ghostly, but the bulk of his army with the Banes had to be funneled through that very narrow channel between the 2 forests.
Yeah.
And if you look at them, and it's kind of hard to tell because of the angle from the camera, but if you look at them, that actually basically predetermines where they're going to be on the table. And that is far away from
the Prime Axiom.
The top zone.
Sure.
Which is the zone that Watt scores more points in.
Right. That's what I was saying. Potentially just turn 1 running opposite. And the Bane Thralls would have had to essentially run between those 2 forests.
They would have been running for 2 turns.
Yeah.
And then they would have been mostly running laterally on turn 2. So Tom opted more to have them just sort of run straight forward through that channel. And then he tried to wheel them into the zone once he realized he was going to lose it. But if he had made that decision more earlier on in the game, or if he had realized how much that forest was going to telegraph his deployment and his game plan, that might actually have been Watt's game plan from the get-go, was that he knew that that Tom's main force was going to be sort of a turn and a half delayed.
Yeah. This table does have a ton of forests.
Yeah, 4 forests. Or that might be a hill.
The top left one is a hill. Yeah. Just Baldur's Dream.
It's a lot of terrain in general. It's
Diecon usually has a fair amount of terrain on their stuff. So, I mean, this table has 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces of terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but that's only one more than standard. 6 is roughly standard.
Yeah, it's just they're all like large pieces. Like there's one wall, but it's pretty much in an irrelevant location.
Prime Axiom just has to clear out 2 more models, it looks like.
1 Prime Axiom versus 2 Bane Thralls. My money's on the Bane Thralls. Taking bets.
I bet against, though.
Yeah, just because you've seen this. You were the anonymous guy.
That could have been anybody. We don't know.
It could have been anyone with a... Yeah. Ah, man.
So, yeah, I would say this game was well played by both players. But Tom, like I said, could have... And that's it. That's the game right there.
Yep.
So I'd say, yeah, like I said, this game I said was well played by both players. Tom could have identified earlier on that there was going to be a scenario threat and then repositioned his army accordingly. I'm not sure that it would have been able to stop it entirely, but it definitely would have been something.
Yeah.
So that was our first battle report. Thanks for watching, guys. That will definitely get better as we get more tuned in to the commentary
aspects and
get more used to what we're doing and everything.
Yeah,
so.
And they won't always be you and I. There'll be a mix of
we'll have
whoever.
rotating guests and everything like that. So we're definitely looking forward to doing some more of these. So stay in touch stay tuned while we try and get more of them uploaded. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take it easy.